It's 7 o'clock. We will call the regular village board meeting to order. Everyone would rise to say the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I will call the roll. Trustee Hupkey, Trustee Jones.
Here.
Trustee March.
Here.
Trustee Ham.
Here.
Trustee Bowden.
Here.
And Trustee Hack.
Here.
5 trustees present with Trustee Hupkey absent. Approval of corrections to the minutes of the June 26, 2017 regular village board meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes of that meeting? If not, a motion to accept as written.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Trustee March, seconded by Trustee Jones. Trustee March?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Ham?
Yes.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
And Trustee Hack.
Yes.
Motion carries. Accounts payable and payroll. Payroll pay period ending 7/1 of 17, the amount of $43,675.03. Accounts payable general fund, $26,219.35. Water and sewer fund, $35,489.97. Motor fuel tax fund, $4,707.25, giving a total of all funds $66,416.57. Are there any questions on any of the bills or the payroll?
I had a question on $1,000 charge from Dyke, Susan, and Borchardt.
That's the right-of-way for the Ratchy Road.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Is Dwayne's sister a date?
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Motion by Trustee Jones, seconded by Trustee Hack to pay the bills and the payroll. Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Hack?
Yes.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Ham?
Yes.
And Trustee March?
Yes.
Motion carries. Public comment and/or questions on any non-agenda item? Okay, reports of committees, any committee reports tonight? Okay, no police chief's report tonight, engineer's report?
I don't have anything other than what's lower on the agenda.
Okay. No old business, so we'll move on to new business. Item A, approval of the placement of the beer garden in front of Game On Bar and Grill in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce Summer Festival, July 7th through the 9th. This was an item from last meeting and just a formal motion to approve.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Motion by Trustee Jones, seconded by Trustee March. Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee March?
Yes.
Trustee Ham?
Yes.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
And Trustee Hack.
Yes.
Motion carries. Then we also have on item A, approval of protruding sign on front face of building of Game On. And I'll ask Dan to step up and kind of talk to us about what.
So we want to get a sign up in front of the building. I noticed this weekend, even when I was handing out a lot of different menus to the people at the festival, there's a lot of people that really don't even know we're still there. And we would like to do some protruding sign because it stands out more. I believe it will get more, people will see it a lot better than if it was just flat against the building. Even when I was walking around throughout the weekend, looking down the street, it just kept trying to vision it if it was one way or the other. And we would get more usefulness out of it. Without a doubt, it would stand out more if we had it protruding. There will be a lit sign. It's not going to be very bright. It's not going to be much different than the signs that are already up and down 2nd Street. If you look in front of the old 2nd Street, there's an old style sign sitting out in front of there, and Susie's has one. We were looking to do a 3-foot by 5-foot sign, about the size of a normal flag that somebody would have. We are not stuck on the size, there's just nothing, we haven't bought anything, we haven't ordered anything, but that's just what we were looking to do.
What would be?
And the sign will have our logo on it. It's not
Yeah, we're
gonna
looking to have our
beer.
logo and.
It's not gonna be the old style sign, it's just gonna be our logo.
Our logo
So I
with the
think
phone
that's
number.
important, because we
got
have
enough
beer
old style
signs on there.
signs,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just gonna be our logo.
And what was your question, Jim?
How far will it protrude?
It would protrude 5 foot off the building.
Okay, you're gonna be 3 by 5, so it's 3 up and down and 5 out?
Yes, sir. And then it will be the minimum of 8 foot up off of the ground as required.
Will it be above the awning height that's shown on this picture?
Yeah.
It'll actually be, if you look in that picture, it'll be right in between, it doesn't end up that high. It actually ends up right where the awning used to be. That awning is now gone. There's nothing there. It ends up being right down here. But that awning was 9 foot up, the bottom of that awning was, and that's right about where the bottom of the sign will be.
You have no fear of kids jumping up and,
Not at 8, 9 feet, I don't think that's gonna be an issue. It's not with any other sign that's out there, as far as I know.
I just had a question. Shouldn't this go to building first?
No, because a sign variance like this comes directly to the board.
Oh, okay.
have you got approval from the building owner to do it?
I went to the building department, and he's told me
The
that...
building owner.
Oh, the building, yes, I do. Marty Babich has approved it already.
And this would require a variance from the board for a protruding sign, because protruding signs are not allowed by ordinance, in that zoning of business.
So the other signs are pre-ordinance, which is like, said
Either
1970.
pre-ordinance or were approved at some
Okay.
point in time.
It said
one or two.
1978, I think.
Yeah.
And Evans' frame still hangs there.
Yeah.
The old drugstore.
Right,
Nothing in it, just a
right,
frame.
right.
I'm all for these guys. I think they do a fantastic job with everything they do. The only thing we have to realize is you set precedents,
Yes.
and anybody that wants it.
Well, I think we need to work on the sign ordinance to figure out, what we would like to allow. I think I'm for these guys too. I think having a protruding sign is not a bad idea, but, instead of just saying they're not allowed and then having people come here with variances, we should sit down and say, this is what we think is appropriate. So, I'm all for approving this with, maybe when you guys actually get a design and, can show us exactly what you're gonna get, maybe come back so we can, if I give a final approval,
And what we'll do, what we can do in the meantime,
We need an ordinance
we need to
anyway.
create
I have
an
to
ordinance
draft an
anyway
ordinance.
to approve this.
Okay.
So we can direct legal to create the ordinance, have that for the next meeting, and then have you bring us,
I'll do that.
More definitive.
Exactly what it's gonna look like.
Right.
It's just basically gonna have our name on there and the phone number. And that's it, we're not looking
Yeah,
at...
what do you mean, like, what would you be looking for by way of what it's gonna look like? Because it's literally gonna be a rectangle with our
No,
logo.
yeah, just...
material, what type of material it's gonna be made out of,
Yeah.
all of that type of information.
Okay.
Material, size,
Thickness.
your logo, the colors it's gonna be.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing we want to be aware of too, hopefully they're there for 100 years, but if they pull out, that we don't have like an Evandale hanging out there that we've got now.
Mhm.
And if it has to be taken down or
That's a good point.
whatever.
Right, so it's something that's removable, is that what you're
Well, it
saying?
would have to be dismounted and
Right.
basically you just cap where the electric was
Right.
and whatever, but
Right.
then the other thing you gotta watch out for too, if the next guy down the street says, well, they can't see mine at 3x5, and now it needs to be up 20 feet, and it needs to be 5x7, I mean, there's just a lot of, but I don't think we ever put a sign ordinance in place, did we?
Yeah, we have a sign.
Well, there is a
It
sign,
is,
yeah, there
okay.
is.
We have one, but it doesn't allow for.
No, it doesn't allow for
protruding.
purpose.
Right.
This is just, signs in B districts. I mean, it says they have to be either mounted flat against or painted on the building, provided that the lowest portion shall be no less than 9 feet. Individual letters mounted on top of a canopy or marquee, blah, blah, blah.
But, I think we really need to look at.
No, I agree, I agree.
What type of sign is allowed, and, do we allow, a message board, or, that.
Flashing lights and message
Right.
boards, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Well, just like the signs that have been done on the highway.
right.
At Fire Pit and at Tony's, I mean, those all required, variances also.
Right. And then you guys have a couple of just, like the video gaming signs up there?
Yes.
And what's our ordinance on those, like those temporary signs? Do we allow those, or?
I think there's
We just
something,
did that, though.
there always was something against that And then when this poker thing took off, you see them slapped up everywhere.
Right.
I mean, that's something I think we need to address in
Well,
the
that's
sign
something,
ordinance
right,
too.
right, exactly.
You know,
That's something that we
temporary
can-
signs, you know, not only there, but there's other places here, so we just need something. So,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know.
sign ordinances can be tricky.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be
A lot to
super
it.
restrictive, I want businesses to be able to advertise, but on the other hand, we want to have a little bit of control over what goes in there.
You know, something else you want to include in that, when you bring your stuff, is the mounting and how it's going to mount and how big the mount is and how it hangs and
Sure.
all that stuff. And one little tip, when you talk to a sign vendor, a lot of those guys have got used cans, because all it is an aluminum frame with
Right.
things in there, and you can buy that for about 25 cents on the dollar
Okay.
compared to ordering a brand new frame, because they got to put new pans in there anyway.
Right.
With your logo, so you can save quite a bit of money if you can pick up a real good used one.
Okay.
And they usually have them.
Okay,
Lots
yeah,
of
I'll
them.
definitely, when I talk to the guy again, I'll ask him about that.
I have one question. Since we're talking about the front facade of the building anyway, I recall some bricks falling down from the top. Was that?
The landlord has paid a company to come in, and they pointed everything, and they put all new brick, they took all the loose brick down. That was all the way up at the top of the building when that came down. When it first fell down, they came in there and pulled all the loose brick off. And then since then, they came back in again, re-went through it, and pulled, I think, the whole top section up, I think, when they redid it, and then rebuilt the whole top section.
So top safe? No? Yeah.
As far as I can tell.
How about the plywood on near the sidewalk? Is there a plan there? Or?
We want to get that off of there. Problem is, once we take the plywood off, there's liquid nail all over the brick. There's no good way that I have found to remove liquid nail from the brick. So we have to find something new to put on there. We are looking at different options. Somebody suggested drive it. I don't know for sure what to put on there yet. Yeah, we don't like the way it looks. We know, we want to dress it up, we want to make it look better.
Right.
The plywood's starting to bow and everything else, but I think the liquid nail all over the brick would
Okay.
not look any better either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I support the sign. I just want to make sure it's safe.
Yeah,
There's no
right.
exterior issues.
Yeah.
And my one concern is, the height. I mean, in the ordinance now, even on the flat signs, we're talking 9 feet. I mean, I think,
Then we can go 9 feet.
Yeah,
There's not a
yeah, to
problem.
me, 9
We have room
seems to
for
be,
that. And, we went through it with Marty also about affecting the people even that lived up above us. That it left a couple of feet, still 5 feet minimum, between the top of the sign and where the apartment windows would be. And, I reminded them there's actually a street light right on the corner of our building right there. So the little bit of light that we'd be putting up is not going to affect, not like that. We're not looking to make them something that the helicopter sees might fly by. It's
It's gonna be
just,
Vegas down there.
yeah.
We're doing blinking lights and marquees.
okay, yeah, so if you have that information, and bring it back to the next meeting, and we'll have the ordinance ready, to go, at that time.
Okay.
And then, also in your packets, you have the application for a Class O and Class M license. This was actually supposed to be on the agenda tonight, but it kind of fell off. It didn't make it on the agenda. So we're just going to kind of talk about this a little bit tonight, and then we can follow up, with that. But I'll let you go ahead and explain, I'll do a little explaining, then I'll let you go. Myself and Chief Mort met with Dan and Vicki a few weeks ago, and we're talking about a proposed beer garden in the back of Game On the Railroad Street side. It would be fenced in, and I'll let you guys go from there.
We were gonna do a wrought iron fencing in. It ends up being 35 foot by 35 foot. It's a 4-foot high fence with wrought iron. It'll be cemented into the ground. We're gonna go, it leaves enough room behind it still for people to park. It will be a gate to go in. You would basically walk out the back door, walk into the gate to get in. We're looking to use it, set up tables and chairs out there, basically the tables that we had for the front beer garden this weekend, run our tables and chairs, maybe put some bean bags in there. Eventually, right now we have vine screens compacted down, as long as it works this year, and people use it, we look to doing something better next year. We just don't want to put tens of thousands of dollars into it and then find out that it doesn't get used. And landscaping around it also, just something to help it look better, dress it up a little bit back there.
Lighting?
Lighting, without a doubt, we were planning on putting surveillance cameras back there, which will be right behind the bar. There'll be a monitor, so when the bartenders are in the cash register, they can see it at all times. It will shut down at 11 o'clock, which is required.
Ambient lighting, I think, at nighttime, right?
Yeah,
Just the
nothing real
ambient
bright,
lighting,
but just so
nothing.
that when the police are still driving by, they can still see what's going on back there. No dark corners, nothing crazy.
Any speakers or?
We do have an application in for that also on one of the permits.
Right, that's the M music license, the amplifier permit.
And that'll stop at 11 too?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, without a doubt. There will be a gate on there that we'll be able to lock so that people aren't going in and out of there after hours and,
I have a comment on the outside music and the speakers and stuff, and we've never done it here, they got a meter, and you can measure the loudness, I can't remember what that's called,
Yeah.
but it's
a
used in a lot.
decibel meter.
Decibel meter. Sure. They use it in a lot of areas, and they come around and then they show you, and if you're in violation, they give you an opportunity to shut it down. If they've got to come back, then they start writing tickets. And I guess the only thing, I just don't like the idea of tremendously loud
Agreed.
music. I mean, if under control,
agreed.
I think it would be more
We-
background music.
Yeah,
than
we actually-
anything.
right.
Yeah.
We get
Not-
along very well with our tenants above us. And we're not looking to create any problems for them or anybody around us. Just enough to where the people in the beer garden can hear it.
Yeah.
We're not gonna crank it up like we do inside the place at night. It's just strictly for background music, drain out the trains a little bit.
Dan, there'll be no bar back there though, everything
No,
will
so
still be
we're not looking to put a
served
bar back there. The only way anybody back there will be able to get a drink is if we end up sending a server out there, or if they come in and get it themselves.
Okay. I like the idea, because we've asked them to comply with the smoking back there. They've done it. I think it would actually help with it. My only, I wouldn't mind seeing some screening on the one side, just to hide some of it a little bit. Maybe it's a bad idea, I don't know. Put some arborvitae's all the way on the east side or something, just to,
Just the railroad track side, you mean? We had thought about doing something like that, but then Mort had also suggested
so
that it was good to keep up
Yeah.
so that they seen what was going on.
Right, to leave it open for line of sight from the,
gotcha.
I would rather the police be able to see in there. I mean, it's just an extra set of eyes to make sure that, nothing's going on back there.
And, that's one of the sites we were talking about, putting some shrubbery and stuff along, of course, on the backside and everything else, to where you can still see back there, but not one, if we plant any shrubbery back in there, it'll block some of it, but you'll still be able to see if there's any issues that need to be addressed.
just use good taste like you have in the bar, keep it classy and good.
and you
Yes.
can show, we had some pictures, and of course with Greg being sick, everything's locked in his office and I can't get to it. But can you show the trustees the picture of the fence that you're proposing?
Now, the picture he has is the fence with the spades on the top. And after talking with Chief, he suggested that maybe we should do a flat top because you could see some idiot trying to crawl over the fence and, getting hurt. So that picture we don't have, but it is the
basically,
exact
it's
same
an
thing. It's
aluminum,
just-
basically it's an aluminum
Yeah,
fence.
it's flat on the top. We're not
So
going to
it'll
do
be a
speeds.
black wrought iron fence.
Because that is a good point.
And then it ends up looking
Never
more
know.
like this one, where it's flat all the way around.
You ever thought about like a fire pit or anything?
Pardon?
Like a natural gas fire pit or anything?
And then it'll end up being a flat top, just like that.
We tossed it around, probably not natural gas, we may have a fake one.
Yeah.
We'd have to talk to Dan. We did talk about it, maybe in the future to do it, but for right now.
They do. They look very nice.
We really just want to see, like he said, just see how it goes before we start dumping.
Something so that, we didn't think about it before, we were thinking about that type of fence. And then Mort suggested that somebody's gonna try and climb over it.
That's exactly, we're kind of using that.
And I could see somebody trying to jump over a chair or, so they say, a nice flat top. Right.
Looks better than razor wire.
And the fence, you've gone through the permitting process.
We have
Yes,
gone through
we
the
got
permitting
the
process, the fence
placard.
is approved by the village also. It's just a matter of the beer garden.
The O and the M.
Yes.
So I guess what I'm looking for is kind of a general consensus from the trustees tonight. We'll bring it back, for our next agenda for formal approval, but just so that they have an idea of, move forward or not move forward.
We have to order material out. We'd like to do it so that we do get use out of it.
Right.
It's just, I was a little slow on getting stuff together, and now the summer's getting away from me also.
Do you have any concerns about any of the neighbors objecting to it?
I do not.
Okay.
I don't believe so, as long as we're not cranking the music up louder. I don't think, I can't see anybody really complaining. Even some of the residents upstairs, they're some of our customers, they come down and eat and drink with us.
Okay.
As long as we're not doing anything to affect them, I can't see where they would be upset.
If nothing else, it gives people a confined space like the smokers, because that's been a big hot topic.
Mhm.
They can't be up front, they can't, then they gotta go out back and they can't take, so that's another pro to it, is it's just another confined space for people who smoke to go, and it'll confine the cigarette butts, which were also a hot topic. Obviously, garbage cans will be in there, so hopefully it'll confine litter, and, it's something that we'll police anyway, by picking up all that stuff.
And we've gone through there a couple times already since we've put the screenings down. It's really easy to clean even cigarette butts. I can walk through there with a broom and a dustpan now, and I'm able to clean up everything behind there, whatever they leave behind. But it keeps it more on our property and less on some of the neighbors' property.
I think it's a good idea. It adds a whole new dimension to that back area we're trying to get cleaned up.
Yeah,
And,
somebody has to make a first step towards it. And I'm not trying to,
No, I agree.
Oh, it's right.
I do have a question. You asked if there was gonna be a bar out there. If we do have special events like bike runs or parties or something, we may have a beer tub out and back. Is that a problem? Not all the time, every day.
And we talked about that with Chief, and I think, in those situations, that would be allowed.
Okay, all right, I just want to make sure.
Right, not on a daily, every day,
Right.
but on a
no,
special.
just special events, maybe during the street, the fest or something like that when it's going on.
When we know it's going to be a big,
Right.
something big coming in.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
So, at the very least, all of this will come back on our next agenda, which would be,
Are you sure?
yeah. hold
Not
on.
going on vacation?
Remind me, the 24th. The 24th is our next meeting. All right.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you very
Thank you.
much.
You're welcome, thank you guys. And by the way, the fest this weekend was awesome.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know how many of you got to come, but this town was hopping with activity, and I talked to the chief, and there were very minimal, baby little problems, so,
Yeah, I mean, as these things happen, you learn, after you do the first one, you learn,
And
how to tweak, for
right,
that
exactly.
before.
And the chamber board, we've already got a list of like, okay,
Right.
well, these are some
Well, and
things we would like.
this was a pretty quick plan, too.
This was a 3-month,
Yeah.
3-month throw together.
So, I mean, I
And it
definitely
was-
think that with a little more planning in the future, things can get
It
tweaked
can
a
only
little
get
bit more.
better. I agree.
And, definitely, I know the village, wants to sit with the chamber, and talk about some things too, try to smooth things out and make things run, smoother next time. So,
Yeah, definitely.
I think all the businesses profited from it.
Yeah, it was great.
We'll move on to item B, a resolution with the state of Illinois and the village of Peotone appropriating funds for the Illinois Route 50 at Corning Avenue Improvement Project. Troy, anything to say on this?
Yeah, because that Illinois 50 Corning Avenue intersection project was delayed because of the land acquisition and everything, IDOT is making the village redo this resolution. It's virtually the same resolution we passed back in the spring of last year, I believe, and the accompanying agreement with the state for funding. So it's really the same thing, they're just making us do it over again because it's over a year old.
And this would be resolution number 17-R04, a resolution in agreement with the state of Illinois and the village of Peotone appropriating funds for the Illinois Route 50 at Corning Avenue Improvement Project. Motion to adopt.
A motion to pass.
Second?
Second.
Motion by trustee Ham, seconded by trustee Hack to adopt resolution number 17-R04. Trustee Ham?
Yes.
Trustee Hack?
Yes.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee March?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yep.
Item C, 2017 bid results for sidewalk program.
The bids were received on July 6th. There were 3 bidders, and the low bid was by J&J Newell Concrete Contractors in the amount of $62,960.25. This bid came in about 6% higher than estimated construction cost. So to stay within budget, there might be a couple areas cut, Bob said. But we recommend awarding it because, even if you rebid, it's not that much higher, and even if you rebid, you're not gonna get any results.
Did you break it down on a cost per foot?
I did. Do that for you. Yeah, I did it for you.
In this outfit, the low bid, they went to once we agreed with.
That was Davis.
It was Davis.
They worked here, was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
They've worked here
JJ
before.
Knowles,
Yeah.
they were here, 2 years before. Davis was the last 2 years ago. JJ Knowles here a couple years before that.
I know Bob was happy with them.
Previously? Okay. Davis decided not to bid, or we didn't ask them to bid, or?
I don't think they saw the advertisement. Okay. We didn't modify it.
If we write it into the specs that if it cracks, they gotta cut it out and replace it.
Yes, we will. Well, for the next project.
Can't do this.
The specs were ready. It was ready up to bid.
Troy, question, are we able to reduce the contract amount if we approve the bid
Yes.
because of the
Yep.
specs?
Yep.
Specs are okay on that?
Yeah, you awarded the full amount, you have to, and then you could reduce it, as long as it's not a very large reduction, which it won't be.
Okay, as long as it's there.
And when would they start?
Most likely after the contracts are approved within 2 or 3 weeks, as long as they do have a work, schedule, but we have a completion date in there. August, I don't know.
August.
Yeah.
We just don't get involved in one of those deals where you finish up the day before Thanksgiving.
No, yeah, we, our completion date's well before that, and we started earlier this year, we have the locations earlier, so.
Any other discussion?
I'll make the motion as long as we don't exceed the budgeted amount.
So a motion by trustee Hack to award to the low bidder, J&J Newell Contractors Incorporated, the bid amount at $62,960.25 to be possibly reduced to fit within the allotted budget.
Second.
Motion by trustee Hack, seconded by trustee March. Trustee Hack?
Yes.
Trustee March?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yep.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Ham?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I have a question. How do you figure such a large disparity in those bids?
We had a couple new bidders this year. The one with the really high amount was from down south, and we kind of notified them about it just because we were looking for some more bidders, and they were interested in, getting some more work, but yes, they maybe it's too far for them, and
That's almost double.
I was surprised when I opened it. I think a little bit of lack of competition in the area, kind of drove the prices up a little bit this year. We have more bidders than we did the last couple of years. Unfortunately, they just weren't real low.
What is the cost per yard of concrete now, do you know?
I always estimate the sidewalks per square foot, typically for a 5-inch sidewalk, and that's normally around $6 or $7 per square foot.
No, I mean just the cost of the raw concrete.
I don't have that number off the top of my head. I can get it for you.
I think it's almost 150 a yard right now.
150?
That's high.
That's that was Ozinga like 2 weeks ago when we ordered.
Yeah, it seems like the last couple of years, concrete's gone up and asphalt's gone down a little bit.
Depends on your mix too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Questions of the press? Correspondence, communications, petitions?
When is our insurance guy gonna get back with us on our health insurance program for the village?
Yeah, I'll follow up with Greg on that when he gets back. I mean, I know that we had talked about that,
Yeah, we had a bunch of questions, and then,
right?
unless I was not here when he came, which I don't.
No,
think I was.
he's never been back.
He needs to be back. I get the
Well,
impression.
we can set that up, for a committee of the whole, because you're talking from the group, from the pool or whatever, that's,
I just got the impression he didn't like the questions and being grilled and possibly trying to avoid any more contact than he absolutely had to have.
okay. Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Motion by trustee March, seconded by trustee Jones. Trustee March?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yep.
Trustee Hack?
Yes.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Ham?
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned.